Cruel Jewel 106 and 56 miler is canceled 2020. So my last long run was 2 days ago. All right, it's 4:20 in the morning. I am starting on a long run to run about 9 to 10 hours. This will be finishing up my training plan because Cruel Jewel was canceled at this point so far. I'll give some updates along the way. It's pretty humid out, not as humid as it was. So we'll see how it goes. I just registered for Pinoti 100 in November. See you then. All right, 10.75 miles into my run, 2 hours or so. Starting off pretty humid. Started to rain on me now, which is really good because I get a little bit of extra water on my body rather than having to produce this sweat. Refill my bottles at the park, and now I'm continuing with the huge loop. All right, I've made it 21 miles in. I am here on the water now. I've made it downtown, a couple of stops, restroom break, got some hydration. Now headed on, I'm gonna go see if I can hit a few tracks and make up some time before going home and doing hills in the neighborhood. All right, listening to the David Goggins book. It's been pretty good company. 8 hours in, hitting just under the 40-mile mark, and I've been walking because the wind has quit blowing. It's very humid. I can't quit sweating. And every time I take a drink of water, I start getting stomach cramps, which is odd. I've been taking electrolyte capsules, and I ate a couple hours ago, and I just can't get it under control. So I'm not gonna go as far as I was planning. Still gonna hit that 42-ish mile mark, which is pretty solid. Seems to be that 40 miles in 8 hour thing, but I've got to adapt to the heat. It's been really cool for the past 5 days. We woke up this morning and it was another very humid day, and that could be part of the issue, is that I kind of got used to the cold there temporarily, and then straight up just coming out and sweat my ass off. So another solid run. This will be the last run of my training plan. Like I said, Cruel Jewel got canceled, and Pinoti in the fall. So I'm gonna kind of taper off of the running, really focus on work more, and just kind of go like that. Thanks for watching. All right, so I've titled my run "Trying to Slow to Stop the Sweat." It didn't work. Essentially, I was reduced to walking at a certain point just because I was sweating so hard. I ended up getting 41 miles in 8 hours 23 minutes. That was a 12:15 pace. Not a lot of elevation. Here is my run. Fairly big. And then I started off pretty easy, 13-minute mile pace. And then just kind of slowly built into it. Throwing some walks in there whenever I wanted to. There would be some hills. And going down, I was doing really good until I got to a point right down here where I had to get some water at the track. This is where I knocked out some pretty decent miles at the track. I think I did like two and a half. And then I went up and got some water. Then I came down right here. I stopped at a gas station on the corner and went in, got some water, made my way over to the park right over in this spot, splitting that mile up, and I had to use the restroom. Of course, during this COVID thing, they had the public restrooms closed. Then I got back on it, knocking out some 10-minute mile paces, some 10 plus, and even an 8:52 that I did at another track that I went by. Moving on down pretty good, and then at a certain point I got to where I needed to walk to kind of stop the sweat, and that's kind of how it went from then on. I was doing some walking
So I was walking a 14-minute mile, 14 and a half minute mile, and then I ran, I think there was a hill here, walking another 14-minute mile. Then I got to a point where it was 18 minutes. So I had to stop and get some water at the park, and I think that was split up between another 18 minute. My internet is not loading very well, so it's not loading up some of this. Then at a 12, 14, 12. So I ended up slowing down quite a bit to try to reduce this sweat. The bathroom breaks and stopping at the convenience store is really kind of what killed my mile time. Right here, the 21 and the 14. Otherwise, I would have been down in the low 11s. But it was very humid and hot out. The next day, a thunderstorm rolled through. It would have been great to have that whenever I was here. Um, let's see, my training log. So since January, my training has been decent, nothing super high. I wish was able to get more time in doing this. So 25, and you can see these long runs that I've put in, and there's a 50 miler there. There was supposed to be another 50 plus miler right in this spot, and then we'd be hitting that 100 miler right in the middle of May. But that's canceled. So what we're moving on to is we are going to be 7 months out of the next 100 miler. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Right in the middle of May. But that's my last long run was 2 days ago. I got the news before that. I went ahead and did it. It ended up being 41 miles. Fairly hard, very humid. But this is what they're saying. So due to COVID-19, they're canceling all events. Georgia is not allowing the event to happen. They are offering a 60% refund if you want that refunded, or you can push the registration to 2021, which would be the next year. So we'll see what's going to happen. I hope you have enjoyed some of my videos that I've made leading up to this. It has really killed my motivation for running, although I guess I'm experiencing probably a little bit of burnout at the same time. But I was pushing through, doing really good, and we'll see if I can actually push until 2021. And I'm thinking just a quick estimate of what I'm going to be doing at that time. I'm thinking I'm going to do the 56 miler. I'm doing the Pinoti 100, or have registered for it in November. So going with that, I think I'm just going to do the 56 miler and kind of taper off. I've really been pushing my time constraints with a lot of running. If you want to check out my Strava, look me up, Micaiah Rockwell, Micaiah, and then Rockwell. My plan it's been doing really well. I live on the Gulf Coast, so I haven't been able to get a ton of elevation gain in. A lot of that's been on the treadmill, and then whatever I can hill-wise outside. Mainly it's been volume, but I've been restricted to 8 and 9 hour runs, which are causing me to recover 2 to 3 weeks. Started off as 3 weeks. Now I did it a couple of days ago and actually feel really good. So my recovery is actually decreasing from that, although the heat and humidity and the sweating on this past long run that I did, that I'll post here, I was doing really well, running quite a bit, and then eventually toward the middle of the day, it just got so hot and humid. It was like 95% humidity. I was just sweating nonstop, so I ended up dropping it back to a fast walk pace. My electrolytes were really good. I didn't experience any cramping, but I just kept checking, and I just constantly was having sweat running down, and I was out there for almost 9 hours, and just hour after hour sweating so much. I knew I was going to make myself sick if I didn't slow down. So I was doing kind of a fast walk pace, and I could hit around 13 to 14 minute mile pace walking, and then throw some jogs in there. But I just really kind of tapered it back. It was a good run. 2 days later, which is today, it's actually really nice and cool outside. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the videos, and I am going to start some videos to talk about what I learned from ultra running and stuff that could help you, and I'll end up cutting them into each individual videos so that they're easy to find and the videos won't be very long. Thanks for watching.